Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. That was heartwarming just before. Now, Sadako's snoring sounded so subtle while I stood by the window.
さとこ
I could tell that she was sound asleep.
いびきが可愛いのですよ
Hanyu laughs and tries to poke Sadako's nose. I looked up at the sky. Nothing was different about the moon, but the moonlight seemed warmer than usual to me.
リカは機嫌がいいようなのです確かにそうかもしれない
Yeah, so if him remembering it once was like rolling a 6, this is like rolling 5 nat 20s in a row with all of them remembering and kind of making up for the regrets. I realized it only after Hanyu pointed it out. I really was in a very good mood. Otherwise, I wouldn't be enjoying the view of the sky on a humid night like this. It felt like bringing a toast to the moon. As I reached around the back of the closet, Hanyu spoke to me, sounding noticeably upset.
リカ、お酒はダメなのですよいいじゃない今夜くらい
Hanyu doesn't like alcohol. If I drink, Hanyu will also taste it, so she always complains when I try to drink. That's why I usually only drink when Hanyu is far away from me. Of course, she'll know right away when I do, but it's too late by then.
ダメですダメですリカにはワインは早いのですリカは私よリカが飲みたいものはリカが決めるわダメです僕はワインが嫌いなのですダメですダメ今日は喧嘩はなしだってばわかったわじゃああんたにも飲みやすいように甘いオレンジジュースで割ってあげるそれならいいでしょ
Wine with orange juice. Yeah, I suppose. Not the worst thing in the world, at least.
ワインのあの匂いが嫌いなのですだからダメ
Hanyu jumped around and complained. Just like the jumping up and down in the what's it called? The storage ritual tool storage building thingy. She was making a lot of noise right where Sadako was sleeping.
やめなさいさとこが起きちゃうでしょ残念でしたなのです僕はリカ以外には見えないし聞こえませんからいくらトタンバタンしてもリカにしか聞こえないのですあったんべーははあんたはたまに身の程をわきまえないわね
I went to the refrigerator and took out a pack of orange juice and the spicy kimchi I typically use for her punishment. はい問題私がおつまみに激辛キムチをいっぱい食べて羽生が辛い思いをするのとオレンジジュースで割った甘いワインを飲んで一緒に月を楽しむのとどっちがいいHanyu clenched her lips while jumping up and down, ready to burst into tears. She should be disciplined for not being that noisy, but she never has been, since I'm the only one who can hear her. Besides, she's like air, so I can't even give her a spanking. Hanyu loves sweets, but she really hates spicy food.
リカ、飛び跳ねるのはおやめなさいませ。
Sadako woke up suddenly, and I had to hide my glass in a hurry. Sadako doesn't know about my drinking habit.
今何時だと思ってるんですの。
She fell asleep again after speaking.
ほら、あんたのドタンバタンがうるさいって注意されたわよ。この安眠妨害。
Just like I'm the only one who can see her, I'm usually the only person who can hear the noise she makes. However, that's not the case at all this time. That's not the case all the time. Hanyu does exist in this world. Sometimes, people can actually hear and feel her existence. It doesn't happen too often. Most people think they just heard some random noise. Based on my experience, people who are in critical condition like Sadako tend to hear her more often. When I say critical condition, I mean you've reached the L4 stage, as Siri would describe it. At that stage, there's nothing that can be done anymore. They'll feel the existence and hear the noise of someone that they can't see. That would really mess with their mind. Hanyu stopped jumping up and down, and gave up as I started pouring alcohol into my glass. I wasn't drinking because I wanted to be mean to Hanyu. In fact, I always wished she would enjoy it too. I poured only a little bit of wine inside the glass and diluted it with plenty of orange juice. In fact, this cocktail was pretty much just juice. I also put some crushed ice inside the glass. With that, it looked like a real cocktail they serve at the bar.
ほら、Hanyu。これくらいの薄さなら平気でしょ。
I licked the edge of the glass to see how she'd react.
このくらいなら平気なのです。そう。じゃあ今夜はこの濃さにするわ。もう怖がらないで。辛いのはしまうわ。
Hanyu has been scared of that kimchi punishment for a while. So I put it back inside the refrigerator. She seemed relieved. Why is her horn cracked, I wonder? I took the glass and headed back to the window. There was no breeze, but it seemed a little bit cooler.
ねえ、Hanyu。あなたも今回は何かが違うって感じてる？
Yet, you know, Shion being at school with the group. I think that's more than just a minor difference there. Like, okay, the others, sure. Some minor differences and yeah, la da da da. They had the dream and all. Shion's literally... That's a big difference, being in the room and all.
圭一やレナの話ですか？それから多分シオンもね。みんな過去の世界をごくわずかだけど記憶してる。そしてそれを生かして致命的な失敗を避けている。個々にはそう珍しいことではないと思いますです。でも圭一やレナ、シオンなどみんながみんな同時にそうなることは僕もとても珍しいことだと思いますのです。
There is that. Also, at least with Renner and Keiichi, the message does seem to be, yeah, trust your friends, and you should talk to your friends. So, Rika, why don't you follow that advice, and talk to your friends?
私はよく自分の運命をすごろくに例えるんだけど、これは3つ振ったサイコロがみんな6だったような、そういう幸運じゃないかと思うの。
Nah, it's gotta be at least 5 net 20s.
僕たちの望む未来に最も近い位置からのスタートという意味では、理科のその例えは正しいと思いますのです。でも、
But, the harder the fall?
これは リカが期待するような意味の奇跡ではありませんですよ。
I knew what she was trying to say. She was telling me not to expect too much. The die is designed to have 6 sides. It's not a miracle if I roll this and get a 6. A true miracle is when I roll it once but get a 10, like what happened with Keiichi in my previous life. In other words, a miracle is something that would normally never happen. Keiichi gave it all to Mion. Mina spoke with her father, and Shion started taking care of Sadako after remembering her promise with Satoshi. That was all because they had those intentions somewhere in their hearts. It was only a side of their die that was engraved there already. But still, even if you couldn't call 3 dice rolling this roll a miracle, it did mean good fortune.
リカが頑張ろうという強い意志を見せたので、天の神様が祝福しているのに違いないのです。あんたも神様じゃなかったの？リカは僕をいじめる時だけ神様扱いしますです。冗談よ。お願いだからいじけないで。そんなわけだから今夜はとても機嫌がいいのよ。
I lifted up the glass of orange wine and gave a taste to the moon. It tasted like nothing but sweet orange juice. It was funny to see Hanyu making a happy face as I took a sip.
今度こそ昭和58年の死の運命から逃れられるのでしょうか。逃れることがゴールのすごろくなのだとしたら、これほど幸先のいいスタートはもう二度とないかもしれない。
No matter how hard I tried to prevent things from happening, there were some things I could never control. It's such a huge letdown when that happens. Even after trying so hard, something renders my efforts infertile. I'd probably been wasting my time for so long because I was trying to escape from that pain. For the first time in my life then, I've been blessed with a favourable situation. Everything seems perfect in this world. There's no reason for me to be depressed. It's like the weather is perfect and the wind is blowing in just the right way. If I fail to put my ship out to sea, there's nothing to pin the blame on. I understood what Hanyu was trying to say with a concerned look on her face. If I didn't escape my death under this fortunate situation, I'd have to accept that my fate wasn't something that could be changed. This is an ideal world where all my friends overcame their problems. I was always in a depressing world. This time, all the pieces of the puzzle matched. If I couldn't change my fate in this world, then it was proof that I couldn't change it in any world. That was the ending I've been afraid of for a long time. The loss of hope, and the death of my soul. Of the pair of us, I was probably the only one who would die. Hanyu would most likely remain there even if my spirit disappears. She must be afraid of being alone after I lose myself. That's why she's telling me not to expect too much. I bit down on an ice chip inside my mouth. It was pleasantly cold. It doesn't taste of chlorine.
何度も繰り返した話で申し訳ないんだけど、また付き合ってほしいの。いいのですよ。どうしてリカが必ず昭和58年に殺されるかですね。うん。強い意志は強い運命を生み出す。ということは、私が昭和58年に必ず殺されるのは、相当の強い意志に基づいているということになる。おそらくそうだと思いますです。フルでリカを殺して誰がどんな得をするのかしら。
Do they need to benefit though?
強い意志があるのですから、 おそらくは明白な動機があるものと思いますです。
They could have a clear motive without really getting a benefit from it.
自分で言うのも嫌だけど、フルでリカは村人みんなに好かれていると思う。一般的な村人に殺害動機があるとは思えない。少なくともこの村に住まう人間である以上、リカに好意を抱かない人間はいないはずなのです。あんたのおかげでね。今のは感謝の言葉よ。まあいいわ。長いこと疑ってきた園崎本家も違った。となると、私を殺したい人間や勢力が思いつかない。むしろリカにとっては世界中のどこよりもこの村にいるのが安全なはずなのです。そうね、世界中のどこよりもここ、私を殺そうとする人間がいるどころか、私を守ろうという人間がいるはずなのに。
It's ironic. For a long time, I've been refusing help from all of those people who were trying to keep me safe. リカ、やはり入江たちを頼るのはどうですか？ People in this village love and cherish me, but no matter what, they never save me when I try to escape the fate of my death. I spoke to several villagers in the past, but they never believed me, and none of them saved me in the end. They probably didn't believe me because I had no idea who was trying to kill me, or what their motives was. If I could explain that, people might be more accepting of my story. There's nothing I can do about that. No one would believe a little girl saying she's going to be killed without rhyme or reason. Hang on. If in this timeline all of them recognize their regrets, what about what's his name? The detective guy from the 4th chapter. I've forgotten his name, because he has met Rika and he has heard her story, and in I think it was even in chapter 4 when he's told he regrets not being able to hear her cries for help. Will he reappear? They do cherish me, but they won't protect me with their lives. On the other hand, Irie and his people are totally different. As people, so they're not counted as villagers, and so not counted as people who would necessarily like her. I already have my suspicions about Takano-san. Maybe to kill a god. They realize how special I am, and they would try to make sure that nothing happens to me. If I confessed to them that my life was in danger, I'm sure they would do their best to prevent it. They have all the means to protect me from a violent end. However, none of it really worked in the past, because Takano's there. It's not that they're unreliable, it's because Takano, the one responsible for protecting me, also gets killed on the same day, every time. Does she actually see her get killed there? In other words, asking her for help is completely useless. She's very reliable, but she also isn't. It's ironic that I'm the only one who knows the reason why they can never save me.
それが狙いなのかしら。富武と高野を殺し、私を守る者を排除して、それから殺す。確かに高野たちの死は理科の死と密接に関係する先触れなのです。同じ運命なら、いや、同じ犯人が 同じ目的でやっている犯行なら、あの二人の死をなんとか覆すことで、私の運命もまた覆せるんじゃないかしら。リカは多分覚えていませんですが、ずいぶん前にもそう言って実行したことがありましたです。
The deaths of Takano and Tomitake mean the loss of my protection. Because the two of them die, the suspect is able to kill me. That's why I tried to prevent their deaths somehow. But they never believed me. I tried so hard to persuade them, but they didn't listen. I eventually gave up and just thought of their deaths as fated to happen. It's the same hopeless feeling I used to have toward my parents when I was able to go farther back in time. When I found out that death was inevitable, I lost interest in them. Oh, and I'm just reminded of like her wondering why her own daughter's so indifferent towards her and all, and then like growing to hate her and all. After all that time had passed, I forgot how hard I used to try to prevent my parents' deaths.
それにリカは入江たちのことは嫌ってると思いましたです。まあね、連中は明らかに私たちをモルモットだと思ってるし。
What experiments are they doing? Oh. I support them so I can help Sadako, but it disgusts me to think that they're only using me as a test subject. I've been resenting Ire for that reason. Still, I should try to get close to him. After all, he's the only person who understands how important I am. He's the main person I should be talking to, and he has the most potential for protecting me. I can't avoid seeking help from him just because I don't like him. I've asked him for help several times before, but Tomitake and Takano get murdered even so, and it ruins everything. After their deaths, Iri panics and becomes useless. That's why I gave up on seeking help from him. But in this world, I've been blessed with a positive situation. I'll never have as lucky a start as this again. This is the best chance I'll ever get, so I should give it my best shot. I really don't like him at all. But he's not a bad person. I should respect him more. He's serious about helping Sadako, and he's not as much of a bad scientist as I'm inclined to think. Takano is a strange person too, but she's also someone who can give me support. But she thinks I'm only her guinea pig. That's why I don't really want her help. Tomitake is more reliable than Takano. The biggest problem is that he only visits this village a few times a year. On top of that, he always dies before I get killed, so he can never help me. However, they really are the people I should be talking to. If I can change the fate of their deaths, they should be able to save me from my own. It's possible that the only reason I lived until 1983 was because of their effort.
高野たちに接触して彼らを救えるようまた努力してみようと思うの。あ、大丈夫よ。どうせ殺されると思ってるから変に期待してない。だから期待を裏切られても全然平気よ。リカがひどいことを言ってますのです。
I chuckled at her comment.
もし死の運命から逃れられれば、私の運命に対して大きな影響を与えてくれるのは間違いない。そして今回は、それでも二人が殺されるのを前提に話をしてみようと思うの。つまり、二人が殺された後、私にも及ぶだろう危害への警護について。ちゃんとそういう指示を出してくれれば、高野たちの死後も私の身辺は強固に警備されているかもしれない。
The the protection they provide is probably the highest standard of security I could hope for. Yet I lose that the moment Tomitake and Takano die. So I never have their protection after Watanagashi. And therefore, I get killed too. In other words, that's it. Whose protection? Whoever possesses the strong will to kill me actually just wants me dead. Yet so long as those two are alive, there's tight security all around Hinamizawa. That prevents the killer from getting to me. So, to kill me, they must first kill Tomitake and Takano, the heart of that security. Then my protection falls away, leaving me exposed.
リズムで考えれば考えるほど、二人の運命と私の運命はつながっているのね。そうやって考えると、あの二人を見殺しにした時点で、私の運命は。なら、リカのすべきことはもう明らかなのです。そうね。自分の命より先にあの二人の命を救う方が先決ってことね。
It's kind of ironic. I gave up on them because I was more determined to save my own life. But I finally came to the conclusion that I have to help them first before helping myself. There's something I still don't understand. Someone with convictions as strong as trying to kill me for some equally strong motive. Yet no matter how often I debate it, I can't think of anyone who'd benefit from my death. Not only that, but there should only be people who'd want to protect me. Especially since they'd do anything to protect me in the present environment. They even eliminated my mother. To be perfectly honest, I don't even care about her anymore. I never got along with her, and she's the one who took my father's death the wrong way, making a huge deal out of it like she did. She got what she deserved. I'm a valuable guinea pig for them, and I can be a bomb, too. No one benefits from making me explode. There's only disaster awaiting them if that happens. Lots of people will be lost, and nobody would gain anything from that. According to Takano, my death would be like the eruption of a volcano in the middle of a village. I'm not interested in what happens after my death, but they're really concerned about it. They're watching me every day to ensure that I don't accidentally hit my head on the corner of a block of tofu and die. It's fair to say that they're here in order to prevent the eruption from happening. I'd be suspicious of them if they were going to benefit in some way from my death. But as everyone knows, that can't possibly be the case. Yeah, I mean, Spike can need people to do a whole lot of things. My death would create nothing but a disaster. They're benefiting from my being alive right now.
損得の問題ではなく、何かの怨恨かもしれないとは随分思ったわよね。
So yeah, in terms of her being a bomb, there's definitely the whole carbon dioxide, monoxide poisoning thing, that kills the entire village. But in other parts, what is there? I mean, if there's some truth perhaps to Takano's tale with the parasites, perhaps she has a lot of them, and so her ability to be normal despite it is why she's a test subject. But if she were to die, it would be released and cause everyone to go insane or something. Or that's the truth behind the carbon monoxide poisoning.
私個人じゃなくて、フルデ家に対する恨みみたいなものが伝統的に御三家とかに残ってたりして、私が爆弾だと知らないからこそ殺したと。
Or kills you despite knowing that you're like a bomb to this village. That's why I was suspicious of the three families, especially the Sonozaki family. However, after observing them in numerous worlds, I feel like that's not the case. I felt that way in several lives. It always had something to do with that incident with Keiichi and the doll. It's clear that there's nothing going on between the Sonozaki family and mine.
あとは盲信的な何者かなのです。
If it's not about profit or a grudge, it might be someone who's secretly a deranged cultist. We've already had a series of murders 4 years in a row under the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Timing-wise, it would be interesting if I, the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, were killed on the 5th year. I couldn't stand to be murdered for such a whimsical reason, but such a motive actually seemed fitting. Ironically, I would have to suspect Takano if that's the case. She's well known for being an eccentric researcher of local histories. She's only interested in the village's history because she already knows who I am. Ooh? Ooh. Then yet she doesn't believe you? She's doing that for research based on the notion that I'm important. So she should have no reason to kill me. She would desire to keep me close to her as a research sample. It's hard to believe that she would kill her favorite toy. She might be willing to kill someone who would try to harm her little toy, though.
まあ、いくら考えてもわからないし、どうでもいいことかもしれないわね。誰かが私を必ず殺す。その事実から逃れられれば、他はとりあえずどうでもいいんだから。
And in terms of escaping fate, I'm also kind of reminded of Steins Gate, where they literally trick fate. Because is that what Takano's doing? Tricking fate in a way? Like the whole her death is like fixed, so she prevents the fake body instead to fit that narrative. No, I take that back. I want to escape my deadly fate, but I also want all my friends to be happy. And I want the rest of my life to be happy too. I don't want to hide myself in the forest forever just to get away from my murderer. In fact, I've tried that once before, but I'm still met with the same ending. Living in the forest was a horrible experience. I think I was able to survive until July that time. That might be the longest I've ever lived. I smiled bitterly and finished off the rest of the orange wine in the glass. I'd have to talk to Irie again. I don't like him, but his people are my only hope.
もういい時間ね。床に戻らないと明日が辛いわ。僕もそう思いますです。おやすみなさいなのですよ。
I lay down and closed my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep right away. Suddenly, I remembered Rena's words out of nowhere. It was no good when I was thinking about it on my own. I wasn't thinking about it on my own. I was talking it out with Hanyu. Now I know. It's important to talk to other people. Friends have greater meaning than I thought. You can talk to them about anything. I finally realized that. After I asked Takano for help, should I also talk to Keiichi? I've told him before in my previous lives, but he never believed me then. So, I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya. Who done it?